Hi everyone, this is episode 3 of Optimise Stars Tips and Tricks. In this short video, I'm going to talk about how to help your learners tackle use of English tasks. Now let me start by saying that preparing students for the use of English part of exam papers should take place along two parallel pathways. On the one hand, the foundation of any success in the use of English part of the exam is good revision. Students need to be provided with review opportunities as often as possible. For example, with a progress check every unit and also a cumulative review every 2 units. It is also a good idea to introduce an element of fun into revision lessons. To that end, you might use Kahoot games, which are there in ready-to-use versions. So that's path number 1, smart revision program. But there is also path number 2. I believe that a sound knowledge of grammar and vocabulary is just the beginning. In order to score a success in the use of English part of the exam, it is not enough for students to just know a word or a phrase. They also have to come up with it at a given moment. So here are some tricks and tips that will help your students do exactly that. These are the tips and tricks which I believe are truly worth introducing in any exam course. The tips which I will encourage you to share with your students are the following. Read the text, use your mother tongue, study the gap, decide what is tested. Number 1. Whenever students do a text-based gap-filling activity, be it a multiple choice or an open clause or word formation task, make sure they first read the whole text for meaning, ignoring the gaps. Doing so will help them activate their schemata, activate their linguistic knowledge. This, in turn, increases their chances of providing the right word for each gap. Number 2. Another technique for text-based gap-filling activities is translating the word or phrase before and after the gap into L1, or in other words, starting with the meaning and not with the form. Very often, during an exam, students read and reread the bit with the gap over and over again, and they haven't got a clue what is missing. Now, translating it into L1 helps them determine the meaning. And once they know what meaning they are looking for, well, they kind of unblock some of the phrases in their minds. And very often, once they know what this particular excerpt is supposed to mean, they come up with the right word automatically. Number 3. Encourage the students to carefully analyze each gap. For example, in word formation tasks, it always helps to first determine which part of speech is missing. Do I need a noun? Do I need a verb? Or maybe what is missing is an adjective. Having decided that, it is always easier to adjust the base word accordingly. In open clause activities, a different tip is needed. Here, students need to be told explicitly that what they are looking for is a function word and not a word that carries any meaning. We need to encourage students to look for articles, pronouns, prepositions, auxiliary verbs, conjunctions, and other similar words. And once again, this is something that students need to be told quite explicitly. Look at this example. In this sequence of activities, students' attention is first drawn to what phrasal verbs are made of. After that, students are shown how these phrasal verbs are commonly used in open-close activities. Building such linguistic awareness, together with test wiseness among your students, will definitely help them perform better at exams. Number 4, it is worth looking at test items from the examiner's perspective. Encourage your students to ask themselves the following questions. What is being tested in this point? What do examiners expect from me? This approach is particularly useful in doing transformation activities. Take a look at this sample paper. In point 25, the candidate has to demonstrate the knowledge of present perfect tense. In point 27, the knowledge of verbs followed by gerunds or infinitives. And there will always be some recurring structures here, like passive voice, conditionals, comparatives, or causative have, and a few others. Therefore, it is so important for us to go beyond teaching grammar in context. Let's not be afraid in approaching grammar in a more explicit way, even introducing a little bit of meta-language if necessary, because this will definitely help students do exam tasks in the future. To conclude, what all of these tips have in common is the fact that neither of them develops the student's linguistic competence. What they do, in fact, is develop a certain test wiseness, that is the ability to do exam tasks. Therefore, I believe these are absolutely indispensable in any exam course. I really hope you will find them useful.